Welcome to anyone that's listening. Thank you for listening. This first article starts off with Sputnik, and it is written by Lilia Dugradcheva, and it is U.S. Navy UFO patent docs reveal thorough testing of space-time modification weaponry, report says. The earlier reported patterns attributed to some craft with purported UFO-like features include some breakthrough technologies and a plasma fusion device and generator of high-frequency gravitational waves. Multiple documents have surfaced specifying an array of experiments that the Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division conducted to test the key concepts and technologies behind the so-called UFO patent. Theories authored by famed Navy aerospace engineer Dr. Salvatore Cesar Bice, the Drive reported. Several unusual patents assigned to the U.S. Navy were published last year, raising eyebrows over the seemingly unconventional claims found within them. These patents include puzzling technologies such as high-temperature superconductors, a high-frequency gravitational wave generator, a force field-like electromagnetic field generator, and a plasma-compressed fusion device, just to name a few. Although the innovations sound like science fiction, they seem to describe the theoretical underpinnings of a real, presumably existing craft with UFO-like performance. As follows from documents seen by the Drive, apart from design, procurement, manufacturing, testing, and compiling of final reports, over 1,600 hours of work were conducted in 2018 and 2019 on the project. Fresh Freedom of Information Act releases provide in-depth insight not just into how serious the Navy could have taken Dr. Pice's work, but also exactly how elements of it were tested at the cost of hundreds of thousands of dollars, and where the program may have led the scientists to. The releases, which are related to the program called Naval Innovation Science and Engineering Basic and Applied Research tied to project named the High Energy Electromagnetic Field Generator, contained hundreds of pages of elaborate technical drawings, photographs, and data related to the HWMFG tests. The system was reportedly meant to evaluate the feasibility of Dr. Salvatore Pice conducting, called the Pice effect. The latter is a theoretical physics concept thought to be enabled through the controlled motion of electrically charged matter from solid into plasma via accelerated spin and or accelerated vibration under rapid yet smooth acceleration, deceleration, acceleration, transients. The effect, Dr. Pice claims, may prompt the creation of incredibly powerful electromagnetic energy fields that can engineer the fabric of our reality in the most fundamental way, leading to genuine revolutions in power, propulsion, energy, and even weapon production. Among the experiment's concluding details in the new release is an August 2019 Navar Science and Technology Alignment and Investment Report suggesting that the spin test in evaluating the HEEMFG effect took place in late September 2018. It is claimed that while the tests did not measure any anomalous electromagnetic effects that would satisfy the theory, investigators assume that the reason for this is that the capacitor confined the electrons to the center rather than the surface, which is necessary for generation of the effect. They go on to talk about how this could help with energy, dealing with energy dominance. It could have a commercial use, military use. They also go on to say that the tests appeared to have cost $466,000, and it was done between 2017, and 2019. And of course, this all involves after the Tic Tac. So this kind of leads to another page in general. There are several pages that it leads to, but this leads to a craft here. So this is the craft in question. It is the hybrid aerospace underwater craft. So this craft here will have multiple different technologies to it. But this all starts out with patents. So initially you have these patents that seem rather ridiculous. They seem very scientific. You have high-speed frequency gravitational wave generator, a room temperature superconductor, an electromagnetic field or a force field generator, and then a craft using an inertial mass reduction device. And that was all done. All these were applied, they say, about 10 years after the Tic Tac incident. On April 28th, 2016 is when they were first applied. So if these seem a little crazy to you, well, they actually seemed fairly crazy to the primary examiner at the United States Patent and Trademark Office. He actually initially refused the patents, and so they actually have the letter down here. You have to scroll a little bit, but there it is. So this is him actually denying it. Basically, the last bit says it all, which it says, the examiner holds that these levels are not feasible with current technologies and concludes that one skilled in the art could not make or use this innovation. So there you go. I mean, these patents were initially denied because they're like, okay, you couldn't do this anyway. So that leads to this letter right here, which was written by the Chief Technical Officer of the Naval Aviation Enterprise. He personally wrote a letter, and this letter basically goes through and gives reasons why it should be approved. The synopsis of it is essentially that the guy that's working on it's good. These theories will actually be proven. Yeah, it's going to take time, but they actually are very probable, and they can be done. And then the interesting part is here at the end. You have number 5, which says, based on these initial findings, I would assess this will become a reality. China is already investing significantly in this area, and I would prefer we hold a patent as opposed to paying forever more to use this revolutionary technology. Please contact me if you would like to discuss further or have any questions. I appreciate your time and thorough review. So they wrote a personal letter here to basically say, hey, you know, this is really happening. So the scientist in question, they don't have a ton on him. They do have that. Let's see. He received his PhD in mechanical and aerospace engineering from Case Western University in 1999, and that he currently works as an aerospace engineer at the Naval Air Station Patuxent River in Maryland, the Navy's top aircraft test base. Pice has published several articles and presented papers at the American Institute of Aeronautics and, Astronautics Conference over the years, describing his works in electromagnetic propulsion, revolutionary room temperature superconductors, and topics like his PhD dissertation, bubble generation under reduced gravity conditions for both co-flow and cross-flow configurations. So, a fair bit there. And NASA actually, and it also goes in the article, talk about how NASA actually helped him in his dissertation. So let me go back up so you can look at this is kind of two figures of the actual ship. They also go through that they actually spoke with different physicists on the ideas presented in these documents, and they pretty much all said that it was not possible. They all pretty much compared it to like the Force and real physics, that it's just not, it's made up, that is not really true. He said that a lot of them wouldn't really get associated with it too much because of course they don't want their names to be associated with it, but they basically, most of them all said that it was not possible. Another odd thing though that comes up is, so the Drive, also Warzone, they looked into finding more information about this Dr. Pice. Well, one of the things they came across was some odd documents indicating that either the Navy, the leaders in the Navy believe that this technology is plausible, or they want to have people believe that it is, or someone believe. So there's almost like maybe there's something going on, maybe like a bluff, maybe this is like a facade of some kind, like not exactly happening, and maybe they're messing with us. That's one of the arguments. Another argument is that this technology is actually what the Tic Tac UFO was, the way it moved, which would kind of bring in the idea, because they keep referencing China throughout this, that China's working on this tech, China's advancing their military, their defenses, their electromagnetic weaponry, and a lot of that makes some of these people believe that it could be the Tic Tac could have been the Chinese testing something, because if it looks like something you've never seen before, you can't really say that. Well, that's a Chinese weapon. So they go on to actually describe a little bit about this hybrid aerospace underwater craft. It is described as being capable of incredible feats of speed and maneuverability, and can fly equally well in air, water, and space without leaving a heat signature. Also, this is possible, Pice claimed in the patent, because the craft is able to engineer the fabric of our reality at the most fundamental level by exploiting the laws of physics. They go into a little explanation here on why. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a physicist. I hate to disappoint. But the concept is fairly simple, although the engineering required to take as reality is anything but. All matter contains energy at the quantum level, but theoretically creating its own incredibly dense and polarized energy field. The hybrid craft is claimed to be able to create a quantum vacuum around itself, which allows it to repel any air or water molecules with which it interacts. Thus, the craft can essentially ignore aerodynamics or hydrodynamic forces, and so it is claimed in the patent. So it very much, if you think about it, that very much gives you the idea of what a UFO, how a UFO would move. There's no effect, the air doesn't affect it, the water doesn't affect it, it basically moves freely, and that's very much a typical description of how UFOs move. So you have, throughout the patent and publications describing the hybrid aerospace underwater craft, Pice writes that the radical feats of speed and maneuverability of which the craft is supposedly capable of... Oh man, it keeps moving on me, sorry. Capable can be achieved by coupling high-frequency axial spin or accelerated vibration with high-frequency vibrations of electrically charged systems. So, this is basically the ship they're talking about. It goes on to describe some other things. I mean, random bits and pieces. They end with talking with Harry Reid, the representative from Nevada. And of course, he brings up the ATIP program. He brings up that Russia, China, and the United States are currently in what he calls a UFO race. He also talks about how China has made strides in electromagnetic naval capabilities from railguns, aircraft catapults, and other highly advanced defense technologies. So that's pretty much the article right there. There's a lot of other bits and pieces that are a little more descriptive and so on and so forth, but I'd rather not have myself rambling for too long. I just thought that was really interesting. There is doubt, of course, obviously, in this. One of the biggest problems a lot of people have with this is, why is the Navy actually reporting this? Because there is actually a way for the Navy to not let people know about their patents. There's a Secrecy Act of 1951, which basically says that you can file a patent, and if there's something to do with national security, then you can actually make it secret. So people are wondering why didn't they make it secret? So it makes you feel like they want someone to know. They want us to know, or someone else to know, or they want us to think this is what's going on, kind of a bait and switch. So, I mean, unfortunately in these situations, anything is possible, and we only know a few cards in the hand, and we don't even know how many cards are in the deck. So, go with it that way. If you're still listening, thank you.